Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. In this video, as you can probably tell by the title and what's in front of you, I'm going to be doing another Big Finish collection. Now I haven't done one of these for over a year now. I haven't collected a lot more than I did a year ago, but hey, my opinions have changed on some audios and I have got a little bit more, so here we are to do another one. So without further ado, let's begin. So we'll start at the very beginning in a bit of a weird order, by the way, with Jogo and Lightfit and Strax. Now I got this for Christmas a couple of years ago, and sorry about the lighting, I will do something to fix that in a minute. And it is genuinely one of my favourite Big Finish audios. Jogo and Lightfit are brilliant, they're from my favourite story ever, Talons of Wayne Chine, and I think Strax is a brilliant character, and they bounce off each other really well. It's only short, it's about an hour long, but if you're into these characters, I would really recommend it. Tales from the Vault. This came as part of a Doctor Who magazine a couple of years ago, and I'm really happy it did. It's a great one. Just a nice little tale from 4 previous companions, Zoe, Romana 1, Stephen and Joe. Yeah, just very good. Now we go on to the early adventures. We've got Domain of the Vaude, which is my only First Doctor audio, and yeah, it's pretty good. A nice sort of sequel to Keys of Marinus, which is a great story as it is. Skipping forward to Series 4, we have the Night Witches, which is brilliant, genuinely one of my favourite audios ever. Polly, Ben and Jamie and 2 are brilliant in it. It's just so good, you should definitely listen to this one if you're a fan of that sort of Season 4 TARDIS team. We have The Outliers, which again is a really good one. Couldn't recommend this more. I think Series 4 of the early adventures as a whole is really good. There's only one that I'm missing, which hopefully I should be getting soon. And then The Morton Legacy, which again is really good. It's sort of like a historical-ish, but again, really good, really easy, very 60s and of its time. And now onto the only Third Doctor box set that I have. It's Volume 4. Yeah, both very good stories. The Rise of New Humans with the Meddling Monk, I believe. That's very good. And then The Tyrants of Logic with the Sidemen, again, really good. Both a really solid box set, this. Would highly recommend if you're a Third Doctor fan. Now onto the Fourth Doctor adventures. I have got a complete Season 6 and a complete Season 7, so let's do them. Kicking off with The Beast of Kravnos, which again is a really good one. It has Jogo and Lightfit in. This is very of my era. I like this era a lot. It's the Victorian, I believe. Just really good, really easy listen, and I'm hopefully going to give this one a re-listen for about the 4th time soon. That's on my to-do list. The Eternal Battle, really good. Yeah, solid Sontaran story. The Silent Scream. Yeah, this one's set in Hollywood, I believe, and it's really good, a really clever story. Tom Baker is great in it. And it's got Pamela Salem in it as well, who was, I believe, in Robots of Death. And some other stories. Death Race, again, a really good one. A pretty solid story. Not the best of the series, but a very good one. Oh, this one might be my favourite from the season now. The Haunting of Malcolm Place. This was one of the first ever Big Finish audios I got. It was definitely the first ever 4th Doctor story that I got on audio. So I suppose it has a place in my heart for that reason, but it's just really good. Subterranea, really good. Yeah, on first listen I wasn't so sure, but on second listen it definitely met my standards. Mavellan Grave, again, if you're a fan of Destiny of the Daleks and the Mavellan as a whole, this one is brilliant. Skin of the Sleek, a bit of a weak finale I think for Season 6, but I have re-listened to this one since last year, and yeah, it's okay. And The Thief Who Stole Time as the real finale, which that's sort of like a 2-parter. Yeah, it's okay. Not the strongest of Season 6 by far, but an okay finale. Now moving on to Season 7, I'll just take them out of their boxes. There we go. So, Sons of Caldor, a really good one. Vok Robots. It's a pretty simple story, but if you're a fan of Robots of Death like I am, you should like this. Probably my favourite of Series 7, we've got the Crowmarsh Experiment, which is really good. It's kind of scary, I think I've said this before, but it's sort of psychologically scary rather than sort of literally scary. oh, upside, wrong way around. The Mind Runners. To be honest, I don't remember a lot about this one. And the Demon Rises, which goes along with the Mind Runners again. I will be re-listening to that one shortly, but from memory, it's pretty good. I've got no complaints with that one. Shadow of London, again, a bit like the Beast of Cravnos. That's sort of up my Victorian era. Is it Victorian? Oh no, it's not. 1940s. I don't know why I thought that, but yeah, it's really good actually. I do remember a lot from that. The Bad Penny, I re-listened to this one very recently, like in the past week, and it's very good. Very, very good. It's by Dan Starkey. It's very comedic as well, lots of funny moments. Kill the Doctor, yeah, a good return for Sutek. And The Age of Sutek. Yeah, again, I don't remember too much, but I'm sure it's good. Moving on to the main range now, so this is where the real bulk of my collection comes in. So, you know, grab a cup of tea, whatever. So I've only really collected the most recent main ranges, roughly, sort of in the past 4 or 5 years, but there are a couple of exceptions, such as the Wreck of the Titan, which I got for Christmas, last Christmas, just gone, I believe, or was it my birthday? I'm not sure, I don't remember, but either way, it's brilliant. The Silver Turk, again, no complaints here, brilliant. The Seeds of War, I got this one, again, for Christmas or my birthday. They're quite close, so I always get them confused. But yeah, very good. Mel is brilliant in it. I don't think I've ever had a big finish with Six and Mel up until now, but they work very well together. Afterlife, again, this was one that I got in Forbidden Planet up north somewhere, and it was reduced, and yeah, it's really good. I would recommend, if you want to listen to this one, listen to a Hex story before you do, because if you jump in with this one straight away, it can get a bit, you know, confusing. Antidotes Oblivion, again, this one's one of my favourites, if not my favourite big finish. Scylla's brilliant, and Flip is just stunning in it. Yeah, Flip is just one of my favourite companions of all time, even if you include the television series. She works really well with Colin Baker. The Brood of Eris, another Flip story. Again, really good. Not as good as Antidote to Oblivion, but it's very good. It's got a lovely cover on as well. And Tomb Ship, which is, again, it's okay. It's not great, actually, to be honest. I re-listened to this one about 6 months ago, and I didn't really gain anything from it, which is a shame because it had potential, but it didn't deliver, sadly. Continuing along the collection, we have Masters of Earth, which is a prequel to Dalek Invasion of Earth, with the 6th Doctor and Perry. Really good, really good. If you're a fan of Dalek Invasion of Earth, then you should be a fan of this, because they're very similar. Mistfall, again, another sequel to Full Circle, with Turlo. I believe this is my only Turlo big finish from memory, I believe. But yeah, really good, really good. Last of the Sidemen, I re-listened to this one about a year ago. Very good. It's part of that trilogy where the sort of weird companions meet. They're not the right Doctor. I don't know what the name of it's called. But yeah, if you're a fan of Jamie and Zoe and the 6th Doctor, they go well together, so pick it up. Number 200, The Secret History. Again, I re-listened to this one recently, and it's really good. Really good. There's a bit of a surprise villain, which you might be able to work out in the cover, but hey-ho. We Are the Daleks, a good jumping on point, as most people say. However, I do think it's a bit overrated. It reminds me a bit of Remembrance, but in a sort of weird sci-fi, more technological. It's odd, but it's quite good. It's quite political as well. The Warehouse. Now, this was the first ever big finish I got about 5.5 years ago, so of course it's going to have a big place in my heart. However, this is just brilliant. Really good story. I'm not just saying that, it genuinely is, and a really good jumping on point. I jumped on from this one, so you can too. Terror of the Sontarans, again a pretty good one. Sontarans are funny in it, I remember that much. Crisscross, again this one introduces Constance as a companion, who is very good. Yeah, very good story, set in like World War II-ish. Shield of the Jotun, pretty good, a pretty average big finish. Nothing awful, nothing amazing. Aquitaine, re-listened to this one in the last month or so. Very good. No complaints. Everyone sort of says how good this one is, and they're not wrong. The Peterloo Massacre, now this is probably a fan favourite Big Finish, and I totally agree. It is one of the best, especially if you're a historical fan like I am. Highly recommend. It's definitely one of my favourites of all time. And You Will Obey Me. This is the start of a trilogy with like the Masters. This is an okay story, not one of the best. Vampire of the Mind, probably the best of the trilogy. Alex McQueen's Master is very good. About it really. And The Two Masters, which isn't too great, but it's okay, I suppose. Yeah, the sort of Master trilogy is pretty average, to be honest. I wouldn't really bother with it. And Maker of Demons, it's been a couple of years since I've re-listened to this one, but I remember it being not great. But that's just, you know, my opinion. You might like it. Order of the Daleks is a pretty good one with Constance Clark and the big stained glass Dalek, which is quite iconic for Big Finish now. Yeah, pretty good. It's got, who is it? Someone quite famous, John Savardant in it. The Starmen, one of the first ever ones that I got, really good. A great story for Adric as well. The Contingency Club, which is actually signed by Lorelei King. You can just about see who plays this character here. I'd say this might be my favourite Big Finish of all time. It's really great. Again, Victorian. Everything about it is just awesome. And I just happen to have connections to one of the cast members as well. So that really helps. But like I said, it's brilliant. You should definitely check it out. Zoltis, yeah, great one. People often, you know, slate this one, but I don't think it's that bad at all, really. Alien Heart Dalek Soul, what a brilliant cover, by the way. I love the cover on this one. Sorry you can't really see them because of the lighting, but there's not much I can do about that. But it is a brilliant one. The first ever Fifth Doctor Big Finish I picked up, I think, which is something to note, but there's a great twist in it as well. Vortex Ice and Cortex Fire, again, I have one of the first ever Big Finishes I got. Really great. Flip, just awesome. Couldn't recommend this one enough. And Shadow Planet World Apart, the first ever Seventh Doctor, no it wasn't, it was the second ever Big Finish that I got, my second ever McCoy Big Finish, and it is just wonderful. I don't know if that's just because I have nostalgia for it when it first came out, but again, really good, and introduced me to Hex as well, so this is a good jumping on point if you want another companion. The Silurian Candidate, again, a pretty good story. That's about it I can say though. Time in Office, yeah, quite good. Fifth Doctor on Gallifrey with Tegan and Leela, which is an interesting combination, but it certainly works. The Middle, again, one of my favourite Big Finishes. It's got Flip and Constance and Colin Baker. It's just brilliant. Really simple concept, but a really good one. Static, again, really brilliant. Quite creepy. In fact, it is very creepy. Not as creepy as something I'd say is like The Chimes of Midnight, which I have listened to on download. But it definitely is up there with, you know, scary content. Ghost Walk, really good. Yeah. It's quite historical, which I like, about catacombs, and it's quite timey-wimey at points, but really good if you're a fan of the season 19 TARDIS team. Serpent in the Silver Mask, this one is due a re-listen very soon actually, so I don't have solid opinions on this one, but it's very good from what I remember. Murder mystery, kinda. And finally, on the main range at least, The Lure of the Nomad, which I finished re-listening to in the past month as well. Very good. At first, it's just, you know, your usual average base under siege story, but then parts 4 especially definitely ramp this one up, is all I'm going to say. Classic Doctor's New Monsters. I won't take the CDs out of their box sets, but you've got Fallen Angel, which is by far the best in the box set. Judoon in Chains, which is average. Harvest of the Sycorax, which is pretty mixed, you know. I'm not a fan of that one, I'd say. And Sontaran Ardil, which is pretty good. 2 new releases for my collection now, or newish releases. I've got Hearts of Darkness, which I won in a competition in November. I have done a whole video on this box set, so check that out if you want to hear my thoughts on it, I suppose. And finally, in my collection, Out of Time, which I got for Christmas, really good. Tom Baker and David Tennant bounce off each other brilliantly, and it's just a very, very good audio. So there we have it, everyone. That was my Big Finish collection of 2021. Hopefully I will be getting a couple more Big Finishes, but I do think I've slowed down quite a lot over the past couple of years. And you know, I don't plan for my collection to get much bigger than it already is. But there we go. Thank you all very much for watching. Please leave a comment down below regarding, you know, what Big Finish should I get, etc. And what are some of your favourite Big Finishes? So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Bye for now.